yet continually get that kind of recognition at a national level, I guess. It seems like somebody else is noticing that something positive is happening here again.
Indeed they are. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting and extremely important to us. First of all, of course, it makes us proud. We haven't had that kind of visibility nationally. We haven't been ranked in those kinds of highly visible publications historically. And although you could always say, well, they just haven't noticed or they don't know our quality and so on, being left out doesn't feel good. So being recognized in the top 10 in Washington Monthly is very satisfying. It makes us proud, but it also creates a lot of notice around the country. And I've been getting a lot of emails and, people are paying attention. But maybe even more important than the attention and the recognition that we're getting, which I think is quite well deserved, people are asking the question, okay, so how did this university that we hadn't heard about before, located in El Paso, Texas, how did they end up in the top 10 of Washington Monthly? And the answer is, we've been doing something very, very important, but it hadn't been recognized because U.S. News and World Report had a very monolithic control over university rankings, and their criteria were completely divergent from who we are and what we're trying to be. And so we chose to ignore them, not fight them because they're more powerful than we perhaps, but to ignore them. But Washington Monthly didn't ignore them. They thought hard about how should universities be ranked? How should we? What criteria are appropriate? And they settled on impact. What is the impact of an institution? U.S. News and World Report focuses typically more on prestige and money, frankly, resources. And so it's the size of your endowment. It's how much you spend per student. It's how many students you reject for admission. Well, we're not in the business of rejecting people. We're in the business of creating opportunities for people. So we couldn't ever want to aspire to turn down more students than apply who are qualified, because that's not the way we think about our public university role. And so fortunately, Washington Monthly came along with a very different concept to challenge U.S. News and World Report. Try something different. Let's see how it comes out. Let's develop some criteria. So they chose social mobility, research, and service. And they developed their criteria, and much to our surprise, frankly, we didn't know they were about this. All of a sudden, there we are. And what's important about that is our ranking among mostly Research One universities, AAU universities, has caused a lot of conversation in the higher education community. And if you read the headlines today, or over the past year or so, there's a tremendous amount of conversation about social mobility, about the new U.S. Department of Education ratings and how they're going to make it impossible for students from humble backgrounds and the institutions that serve them to be well rated in this, and so the Department of Education is being challenged. And so you're seeing this kind of momentum building, and that means UTEP, through its ranking, is stimulating in a lot of ways a national conversation, which is wonderful. It's absolutely perfect, because it's what we should be doing. We should be stirring up things, because we're trying to do something totally different. We're trying to be an authentic institution, not to become a research university by excluding students, but by saying we can be a Tier 1 research university and create opportunities with and for the students in this region. We will be their research university. It's for them, not in spite of them. And that's so exciting, really.